Hey, what's happening, Nouri? Welcome to New Orleans, man. We just why
Thank
don't you kind
you.
of start and see, tell us how this came about and kind of the interest in the pre-draft process from the Saints.
I'm really grateful for having my agent. He helped me out with everything, and I'm unbelievably grateful to be a New Orleans Saint. It's a dream come true. I I still can't kind of believe it. It's a pretty cool process, and I appreciate everybody in the Saints organization so far, and my agent most of all because without him, and nothing would have happened.
So you're from Germany, so why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about how you started playing football and how you came over here and to play football?
I was a big soccer player when I was younger. Was playing till I was about 15, and then kind of lost the joy for the game, and was looking for different sports. And my stepdad, he actually was the one that kind of was like nudging me to go try out and see how it is. And so I started playing for this team called Veteran Bulls. It's a small team, kind of close to where I used to live. And from then on, I love the sport. I've had so many different experiences with the sport that just kept me going and kept me motivated. And I mean, like I said, the journey goes on. So like now I got like through the Red Out Bulls, I went to a different team and then played in like an All-Star game. And the All-Star game was pretty much this all came about because somebody came up to me and said like, "Hey, there's an opportunity for you to maybe go overseas, go to the United States, go to a high school, and maybe play football and like do other sports as well." And I've always wanted to do an exchange year. That was like a big thing for me. Having seen all those like high school movies, I've always thought it was really interesting to like do something like that. And when I did it, I got to come here. I went to a smaller high school, Class B high school, and south of Lincoln, Nebraska, and then just kind of got stuck with staying here. My parents were very, very confused about me saying that I could had an opportunity to play college football, and so now I'm here.
What would you kind of say that your best qualities or what you bring to the table? Like, what are your strengths and where would you like to get better?
I think the biggest thing for me, and I would even say it's off the field, is just mainly like my personality. I've always been an outgoing guy. I love meeting people. I love like getting to know a lot of people, and I think that's like one of my biggest strengths is that I can relate with people. I can talk to people. I can help out, and that was like my strength as an offensive lineman too, because with as an offensive lineman, you have to play as one set of eyes. You have five guys that are supposed to be playing together, and it's hard to do that when you can't talk to the guys next to you and when you're not close with the guys next to you. And so I believe that's one of my strengths. One of my weaknesses would probably I know I have a lot of work to do. I haven't played this sport for very long compared to like all the Americans that have been playing since they're 5 6 years old, and I know I have a lot of work to do, and I'm just excited to get this work done.
How did you
Obviously,
enjoy playing at Nebraska?
Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't
How
hear
did
you.
you enjoy playing at Nebraska?
Oh, I loved it. Oh my gosh, Nebraska has been like the craziest experience of them all. Um, like just seeing the fans here. I don't know if you guys have been in Nebraska yet, but there's nothing here really. Honestly, like there's not much you can do. And so with Nebraska football being one of the biggest things here, there's an unbelievable amount of support towards us as people and as players, and I've loved every second of it, and I've cherished every moment that I had here at Nebraska.
Well, I'm sure the great people of Nebraska will be glad to hear that there's nothing to do there. But 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 when you mentioned the lack of experience being one of the things that one of the deficits, could that also be a positive from the standpoint of having not developed or having to get rid of bad habits?
I would say so. Actually, I'm gonna shout out my old O-line coach from Colorado State, Dave Johnson. He had told me that like one of my biggest traits was that I'm like a blank book. You can write your own story in it, and like whatever the technique is, whatever I have to learn, I've always been able to like pick up on it very, very quickly, just based on having not had 15 years of experience. And so I'm like I said, I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to learn and to strengthen my strengths and figure out the weaknesses and make sure that those are not weaknesses anymore.
Nouri, obviously 2022 was a tough year because of everything that went on. We'll just kind of talk about the support that you got returning to Nebraska, the O-line room, and just kind of the organization around there.
That was a hard time. And I can just reiterate on what I said in the interview I had right after, or the first interview I had after that year. It was a tough time on everybody. We lost coaches, we lost people. I had my year that I couldn't play, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the coach's side of perspective, like the coach's side of things. I stood next to Coach Raiola every game, every home game, and saw the defense, saw the offense, saw how everything worked from the sidelines, and I learned a lot. I mean, those guys in the O-line room, I cherish every single one of them. They kept me humble, they kept me motivated to keep going on. There was a lot of times where I wanted to go back home. Because I thought that, I just don't have another opportunity. I thought I was done. I thought with when Coach Frost ended up getting released, I thought that the new coach might not keep me. And those guys and Coach Raiola were big reasons on why I was able to stay and keep working with the team. And to this day, anything they need, I'll help them out. I try my best to be a great teammate and a great friend too, and that's what they were to me.
I'll throw one last one on there. Hey, Nouri. Obviously, us up in Nebraska got to know you really well, but what do you want the people of New Orleans to know about you?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing that I want everybody to know is that I'm who I am. I've been who I am. I don't like being somebody else. I don't like, pretending to be somebody else. I'm gonna bring to the table what I got, and I'll work on everything I can. I'll be the hardest worker that I can be. I'll be the best teammate I can be, and I'll be the best human I can be. And so, that's the biggest thing. I want everybody to know that I will be who I am, and I won't be pretending to be somebody else.
Does anyone else have any questions? Great. Well, thank you for your time, Nouri, and we look forward to seeing you in person next week.
Yeah,
congrats, man. See you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye-bye.